today we're diving into a little something different, something a bit philosophical that honestly made me pause and think, wait, why do we keep having the same debates over and over with no resolution? So today I'll be walking you through a book review, but really it's a conversation about a deeper question that affects us all. The book is called Propositional Apologetics by S.C. Sayles. So what's at the heart of this book? Well, Sayles is tackling a big problem that's relevant way beyond theology or apologetics. Why do arguments, even really good ones, fail to settle our disagreements? Or why does modern discourse feel so tense? Like everyone's ready to pounce even when we're supposed to be rational. And hey, who actually gets to judge anyone's beliefs in the first place? Big questions, right? The core question Sayles digs into is this: why do arguments about faith, ethics, or really anything rarely resolve our disagreements, no matter how logical or persuasive? Is it just that people are stubborn, or are we missing something fundamental? According to Sayles, the answer is we're starting in the wrong place. We act like argument and evidence alone should settle disagreement, but we're missing a more basic layer, the question of authority. Like, think of it as, by what right does anyone decide what counts, especially when people disagree? This isn't just an academic nitpick. It goes right to the heart of how we relate, talk, and sometimes judge each other. Now, what's unique here? Most apologetic books, apologetics means defending or explaining religious beliefs, by the way, are all about finding the best argument, the cleverest proof, or the ultimate gotcha moment. Not so with Sayles. His book actually argues that this whole approach starts too late in the process. So, imagine you walk into a courtroom, but no one says who the judge is or what rules apply. You could argue forever. That's Sayles' point. Most debates lack a clear court, or what he calls jurisdiction. Arguments themselves can't judge. Only a recognized authority can do that. Let's get a bit more into the details. Sayles breaks it down across several chapters. First, he separates judgment from belief. Beliefs are private, changeable, deeply personal. Judgment, as in actually deciding something under disagreement, requires a public, recognized authority. If you've ever felt like arguing with someone just made things worse, maybe it's because neither of you agreed who gets to make the final call. A key bit here, Sayles says most apologetics mix up authority with things that look like authority but aren't. He lists power, procedure, consensus, expertise, all important, sure, but they can copy authority, not actually create it. That's why debates get so vicious or stuck. We're judging without ever agreeing on who can judge. Another fascinating point. The myth of neutral ground. Sayles argues that neutrality is often just hidden authority. No space is truly neutral. Every argument, every setting has its own unseen rules. If those aren't named, people feel judged or excluded without even knowing why. Sayles then moves through the familiar apologetic strategies, classical, evidential, presuppositional, and actually gives them credit. He's not here to trash the classics, but he says, essentially, great explanations, helpful witnesses, but don't confuse explaining with judging. Whenever an argument tries to bind you to accept it without first naming its authority, things go off the rails. Honestly, I found the section on jurisdiction super eye-opening. Sayles defines jurisdiction. Again, he means the legitimate right to judge, not just persuade or inform. And then he offers this diagnostic tool, almost like a checklist to analyze any claim, argument, or even political debate, like what judgment is being made, what authority is claimed, what happens if someone disagrees. I mean, pause and ask yourself that next time you see a social media flame war. Who's the judge? What court are we pretending to be in? Sayles brings it home by saying that Christianity, at its heart, isn't offering just another argument. It's presenting itself as a named court with clear authority. Agree or disagree, but at least you know who's judging. There's a kind of honesty there that contrasts with, the way a lot of arguments secretly import authority without naming it. Now, you might be wondering how this matters to you, and I think that's the real payoff. This isn't just about theology. If you've ever felt exhausted by endless debates, frustrated by public arguments that feel more like power struggles than real communication, this book helps name the reason. Sayles doesn't tell you what to believe. He gives you tools to ask, who's the judge in this argument? And do I actually recognize that person or group as having that right? To wrap up, Sayles' book doesn't offer you an argument to win your next debate. It offers you a different starting point. Before you argue with someone, or even within yourself, maybe pause and ask, who has the jurisdiction here? It could change how you think about politics, faith, or even family disputes.